Hey, what's up guys, it's TechSumer talking to you here, and in today's video, I want to know, do you want a cheap iPhone? You are probably watching this video because you probably want to save some money on buying an iPhone. And I think you are probably thinking, should I buy the iPhone 12 Pro? Because it looks like the newer iPhones, looks cool, has a good camera, has a good display, the full technology from the most recent iPhones, and right now is actually pretty cheap. You can find it around $500 to $600. So it's actually very appealing to you guys to think that you should buy the iPhone 12 Pro because looks good and it's cheap. So in today's video, I want to explain you guys why I don't think the iPhone 12 Pro is worth buying in 2023 and why I have a better recommendation for you. So if you are excited, don't forget to drop a like down below, subscribe to my channel. In today's video, I will teach you how to save some money when buying an iPhone and of course tell you, is it worth it to buy the iPhone 12 Pro in 2023? So, no further ado, don't forget to drop a like down below, subscribe to the channel, let's get started. So, do you want to buy an iPhone 12 Pro? Currently, are you thinking of buying this iPhone? This is a smaller version of the iPhone 12 Pro Max, which I made a video before and actually got thousands and thousands of views. You were very interested in knowing if the iPhone 12 Pro Max is worth it in 2023 or not. So I decided to make the video on the iPhone 12 Pro. Is the smaller version of the iPhone 12 Pro Max worth it in 2023? Well, I will start by saying this. No. But let me first explain you why I don't think it's worth it and then tell you which is the better alternative in my opinion. So let's first talk about the design of the iPhone 12 Pro, which in 2023 is actually very, very futuristic. Because the current iPhone 14 Pro Max, the iPhone 14 Pro, feature the same design as the iPhone 12 Pro, with bigger camera bumps of course, with, in my opinion, better colors, but they are still the same design as the iPhone 12 Pro. This was the first Pro iPhone to feature the squared off sides, and in my opinion, this was the first good looking iPhone in a while. I love the looking of the iPhone 5 and 5S, but then the iPhone 6 was kind of dull in my opinion. The iPhone 7, the iPhone 8, I'm tired of that design. Then the iPhone 10 came and I was like, oh, that looks good. But that was because of the display, not the design, the exterior design, the bezels and the borders being round. I never enjoyed that much that design. Although I admit that that design is much more comfortable. I do believe that the iPhone 12 Pro was the first iPhone with this design to be called premium. I think that this design is really premium. When you picked it up, you feel it. It's like, oh my gosh, this does not feel like a 3-year-old phone. This came out in 2020, the year of the pandemic, and still, it's still very futuristic when you hold it. Of course, you want to buy one because it looks just like the newer iPhones, the iPhone 14s, but you don't have the money to buy one. And so your first instinct is try to find a cheaper alternative to the iPhone 14 Pro Max with the iPhone 12 Pro. This is the cheapest version of this design, but it comes with tons of drawbacks. So let's turn this phone to the front and tell you about that. So let's first talk about the display on this phone, because I do believe this is the first drawback on this phone. This 6.1-inch OLED panel actually looks very good when you look at it. This was the first 6.1-inch panel on Apple. Apple before had the 5.8-inch size. The last iPhone with that was the iPhone 11 Pro, then was the iPhone 12 Pro, which introduced this 6.1-inch panel. This is an OLED display. The blacks are black, the colors are very vivid. If you look at it on a perspective of quality and good looking, this is incredible. This is still not to knock with the current iPhones. But the problem suffices when you think that this iPhone costs you $500 to $600 but only has 60 Hz. Yes, 60 Hz. This doesn't have promotion just like the iPhone 13 Pro did. So it's a problem when you analyze the fact that a very good looking phone with an amazing display, amazing speakers, doesn't have promotion. So the first huge drawback for me is promotion. If you don't like promotion, then this phone is perfect for you. But if you do like promotion, just like me, I think the better alternative for that would be the iPhone 13 Pro. This is the iPhone 13 Pro Max. I don't have an iPhone 13 Pro with me, but the iPhone 13 Pro is like $150 more expensive or $100 more expensive, and it has a way better feeling display. Feels faster, way faster because of the promotion, feels more futuristic, feels more up to date. And then of course has the newer notch. With this phone has the older type notch. Then there's the fact that this display is brighter, has 1000 nits, while this one peaks at 850 or 800. So this display is brighter, more effective in my opinion because it has promotion, is smoother. So yeah, at the end of the day, if you do like promotion or a faster feeling phone, which I think you do when you are buying a phone new, you want it to feel new and fast and fluid, the iPhone 13 Pro will do it for you, while the iPhone 12 Pro kinda misses the mark. The notch on this phone, it's different, but every single notch since the iPhone 12 Pro has been different. This phone features the older type notch, so the straight notch, not as wide as the iPhone 13 Pro, which has a shorter notch but a wider notch, takes it into more content. And then with the iPhone 14 Pro again, there it comes, the new dynamic outlet. So probably that's the only thing about this phone that is not up to date, is the notch. The notch here looks ancient, but if you don't really care about that, that's fine. ProMotion, the notch, probably the only two things about this display that are not up to date. Other than that, a very bright, very contrasty, very good looking OLED display with 6.1 inches of size, the same as the iPhone 14 Pro and 13 Pro. Do not get me wrong, this display is really good, but I do believe that ProMotion is a huge drawback, and if you don't really care about it, then go for the iPhone 12 Pro. That's my biggest complaint. Although, still, if you don't really care about ProMotion, I would push you towards the iPhone 12 Pro Max. It has a better camera than this one. And that's what I want to talk about now, the cameras on the iPhone 12 Pro. Because this was very strange. This was one of the only years that Apple put a worse camera on the smaller Pro model. The cameras on this phone are not that great, but it has a main camera, a 12 megapixel main camera, a 12 megapixel ultra wide, and a 12 megapixel telephoto. This also has for the first time the LiDAR scanner. No one cares about that. That's the last time that I will mention it. I think that we have been using this excuse for the last few years. We have it on the iPhone 13 Pro, we have it on the iPhone 14 Pro. I reviewed all of these phones, never talked about the LiDAR scanner, never used it. Why is there? Yes, this phone did not have as good of a camera as the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Did not have IBIS, so internal stabilization. The iPhone 12 Pro Max had a better one. Then it did not have the 2.5x telephoto, only had the 2x. The camera sensor was not as big, did not capture as much light, and so when you test it out front to front, you actually notice the differences between the iPhone 12 Pro photo and the iPhone 12 Pro Max photo. They are crisper, they let in more light, so the night mode photos are better, and the iPhone 12 Pro kind of sits awkwardly between the iPhone 11 Pro Max camera and the iPhone 12 Pro Max camera. It's like a 50-50 between those two. It's an hybrid, and I don't think it's the best one in 2023. Especially the front camera, which kind of sucks. Then of course there's the ultra-wide camera, which on the iPhone 12 Pro, 12 Pro Max, 11 Pro, 11 Pro Max was a very fun feature, but I would say it was more of a gimmick, because the quality, if you're not in a good lighting situation, sucks. So yeah, the only usable camera here is actually the main camera, which is good under good lighting, and some mid lighting, like some end of the day or even beginning of the night where you still have the moonlight, it's good. But if you go into the dark, complete dark, sucks. The night mode capabilities here are not great. And then the portrait modes here are also pretty great. But don't forget, this was one of the first iPhones to allow you to record on HDR. Yes, the iPhone 12 Pro was the first iPhone to do so. So if you like recording HDR, 10-bit HLG, so if you do like to record on the codec, this iPhone can do it. The iPhone 12 Pro and the iPhone 12 Pro Max. But that's it. Those are the good things about this camera. Other than that, it's a pretty normal camera, which when compared to the iPhone 13 Pro, I hate to do it again, this camera was a huge jump over this one. The iPhone 13 Pro has the same sensor as the iPhone 13 Pro Max, so the video quality here is much better. The photo quality here is perfect. It has way better ultra-wide camera, way better telephoto with a 3x telephoto. Every single thing on the iPhone 13 Pro camera is much better than the iPhone 12 Pros for $100. So you start to stack things up. The ProMotion, the better camera, every single thing about this is better. It only costs you $100 more. So the value on these cheaper iPhones relies very condensated. Like for $100, you get so many features that I do believe it was worth it. The jump between the iPhone 12 Pro to 13 Pro was huge. And now let's talk about one of the worst things about the iPhone 12 Pro, which was the battery life. The battery life on the iPhone 12 Pro was stupidly bad, because the iPhone 11 Pro had insane battery, and Apple came to the iPhone 12 Pro with a different mentality, thinking we could reduce the size of the battery by using a new design, making it thinner, making it beautiful, but we can make the battery smaller. No one will notice because we got iOS covered, every single thing is optimized, and the battery on the older iPhones were so insane that nobody will probably care. But we did care, and I noticed that right away. The battery on this phone, when it first started, was 1 day, like tight. It was 1 day, but pretty tight. It ended up like 9-10 p.m. The battery, sometimes I could not even finish the whole day with this phone. Brand new, with 100% of battery health. Now, with around 90 to 80% of battery health, which are most of the phones on the used market, it will not last you the whole day. that's a promise. It will last you like half a day maximum, and that's terrible. Terrible for a flagship phone, and terrible for a phone that you are going to buy new or used for you in 2023. Do not buy the iPhone 12 Pro, not because of the promotion, not because of the cameras. Those you can live without promotion. You can live without a very good camera, but just a normal camera for social media. Those are fine. But especially the battery life, you have to live with a power bank with you. The battery life on the iPhone 12 Pro is terrible in 2023. I can check the battery life on this one. Let me tell you how bad it is, because I actually have not checked on this phone for a while, but I do believe it will be around, I don't know, maybe 75 to 80%. I think this phone is 3 years old, if I'm not wrong. So if I go into battery, which is pretty easy to check, you can see on the screen how to check your battery health on your iPhone. This phone has 87% in 3 years. I mean, it's not bad if you have the iPhone 13 Pro again. This phone improved the battery again so much, made the iPhone thicker, made bigger batteries, and so the battery life here was again the battery champ. Much better actually than the iPhone 14 Pro Max, which Apple again made the mistake of making it a little bit smaller than the iPhone 13s. But actually with the iPhone 14s, it wasn't that bad. The chip was more efficient, the display was more efficient. At the end of the day, it was a loss of around 10%. While with the iPhone 12 Pro, in comparison to the iPhone 11 Pro, oh man, that was huge. And that was a problem. Everyone was talking about that on the reviews of the iPhone 12 Pro. At the time, if that was a problem, imagine now, in 2023, with worse battery health. Then of course there's the extras, like the speakers, like the microphone. Like, those are good. They are trivial. They are good. They sound good. The microphone sounds good. The speakers sound good. Like, what can I say? They sound really good. I mean, they sound normal. You will not be bored by that. Then there's of course the A14 chip that there is on this phone. The iPhone 13 Pro had the A15, the iPhone 14 Pro has the A16, and the iPhone 12 Pro has the A14. The A14 chip was not a big jump over the A13. I did not notice that much of a difference. The only difference you will probably notice with this phone over the iPhone 11 Pro in the future, when you start to get these phones to get older, to get slower, is the design. I don't think you will notice the differences between these two phones on processor side. This one is a bit more efficient, but it's still plagued by the huge problem that iPhones have, especially more recent iPhones, that when you are playing games, it starts to get very hot and it dims down the display. The worst phone with this problem is the iPhone 12 Pro Max, but the iPhone 12 Pro also suffers that. In terms of gaming, performance, social media apps, every single thing works fine. You will not notice any stutters, and you can see, watch videos, streaming videos, like publish videos, record videos, photos, social media, Instagram, pretty easily. You can record videos with your iPhone, publish on social media. They will look fine because it's an iPhone, the quality will be at 100%. This phone also features the mute switch, which every single iPhone features, but with the coming of the iPhone 15, we are rumored that this will be removed. So, RIP mute switch, if you want a mute switch, I guess the iPhone 12 Pro is an option, but the iPhone 13 Pro also has the mute switch, the iPhone 14 Pro also has the mute switch. Why worry? This phone features lightning, and that's probably a problem for you as it is for me, because I don't like lightning. Trust me, lightning is very annoying. Now I had to buy a microphone for my channel, a lavalier microphone, and I had to decide between buying a lightning lavalier mic or a USB-C lavalier mic. For the purpose of using it, I had to buy a lightning, but for my future, it's bad, because lightning will die with the next iPhone, and that microphone will die with it. So I need this microphone for now to film with my iPhone 14 Pro Max, which is used lightning, the same port as the iPhone 12 Pro, but lightning will be removed in the next couple of months. So this is a huge drawback for this phone. It has the old port that is going away this year. I guess there will be tons of lightning ports still around because there's tons of older iPhones, but not being on the cutting edge of the port or even on the support list of Apple's ports is kind of sad and kind of a big deal for me. So it's a deal breaker in my opinion. Other than that, I don't think it's beneficial to buy the iPhone 12 Pro. I think that this sits in a weird place where it's still too expensive for the phone that it is. I think that right now it's much better to buy the iPhone 13 Pro over the iPhone 12 Pro. This has promotion, way better battery life, way better cameras for only $100, $100 to $150. And with that you also get way better colors. You can get the Sierra Blue, you can get the forest green, while the iPhone 12 Pro only had this weird gray, which was the same as the iPhone 13 Pro. I don't enjoy it, this space gray. And then there was this Pacific blue, which was my color at the time. Not my favorite again. I got sick of it very fast. While with the iPhone 13 Pro, I still love this Sierra Blue. So I totally recommend you guys getting the iPhone 13 Pro or 13 Pro Max if you want a bigger sized iPhone, while with the iPhone 12 Pro or 12 Pro Max, I advise you to get the iPhone 12 Pro Max if you don't really care about promotion. That's a good phone. You still get a way better camera than this one. You still get battery life that it's decent because it has a huge battery. But the iPhone 12 Pro sits in that awkward place where it's better than the iPhone 11 Pro. It's worse than the iPhone 13 Pro and 12 Pro Max, but it only costs $100 less than the iPhone 13 Pro. So in 2023, don't buy the iPhone 12 Pro. Just go for the iPhone 13 Pro. But let me know in the comments below what you think. In my opinion, again, don't buy the iPhone 12 Pro. But if you have one, don't be sad. It's still usable. Use it until it dies and then upgrade for a better phone when you need it. But if you don't have one, you are looking to buy one like I told you in the beginning of this video, if you want to save money on an iPhone, I think that the iPhone 13 Pro, it will save you some money, yes, less than the iPhone 12 Pro, but the value proposition on this phone is much, much better. Let me know in the comments below what you think, and of course, while you're there, don't forget to drop a like down below and subscribe to my channel. This has been it. It's been Tech Streamer talking to you here. Bye-bye.